Hey, what's going on, you guys? So I haven't been consistent. I just have a lot going on. It's my seatbelt twisted. Then we got somebody's like, oh, your seatbelt's twisted. How about that? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So I haven't been consistent, you guys. I've been working a lot. It's hard to do a video every day if you have a lot of stuff going on. There are YouTubers though that are very, very consistent, you know, and I commend that. So anyway, so I was looking at listening to a report the other day. So somewhere, and they were talking about they want everybody to have a self-driving car by the year 2040. And I was like, oh hell no! And it made me think of if you guys have ever seen a Minority Report, right? You know, they have self-driving cars in Minority Report, and they basically control everything, right? So anytime I feel like, you know, there are people that get so enamored with technology that they kind of lose common sense, and they just kind of go with the flow and not really ask questions about how something like a self-driving car can be very limiting and very controlling in their life, right? You don't have independence. I mean, it's cool, right? You're thinking, oh, like, you know, self-driving car, I don't have to drive. I can do stuff, you know, while I'm going places and don't have to worry about the car, you know, the car. Well, it sounds like a cool concept, right? But, you know, they can just turn it off, right? You do something, you speak out against the government, you know, you're a persona non grata, right? They'll just turn your car off. And you can't do anything about it. Even OnStar actually has that technology now to do that. The cars don't drive self-drivingly, but a lot of the cars that have computers now in them, they do have the technology. Because I know that I have a car on OnStar, and I didn't think about this when I got it. I just needed a cheap car at the time. But you know, if somebody steals your car, you can you know, they have a thing where they can actually like slow it down, right, and pull it over. So you don't think that can't be used for malicious intent? If you don't think that, you're really, really naive. Okay. It's cool, right? It's like, oh, if my car gets stolen, just call it in. They can locate it and they'll pull it over. That's cool. But, you know, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? And then if you guys know about the Vault 7 information that came out, and if you look back into the Michael Hastings situation, right, it looks like somebody took control of his car and crashed his car. So they can do that too. They can, like, you know, if they can turn your car off, they can turn your car on, they can crash it, they can slow it down, they can, you know, do whatever they want. So it's really, you know, and then it got me kind of thinking about this whole, like, you know, especially living in Austin, you know, this whole tech culture. Like, all these people are very, very, and I know, because I've driven a lot of them around when I used to work for Lyft, and I've talked to them, and I just ask them questions about stuff, and they have this very, like, childlike, naive perception of things, right? They're like, oh, you know, things are getting better because technology and because coding and, you know, like science, you know. But they're just giving their power away. They don't realize that they're building this whole grid, right? I have this friend, she's really genius at, like, IT stuff, and she, you know, she was deep into it, and then she kind of, you know, woke up and she realized that she's building this grid, right? You look around us, there are cameras everywhere, you know, for our safety, all right, on the you know, on the stoplights and on the stop corners, and, like, you know, on the freeways, and, you know, everywhere. But it's basically, they're just building a control grid to keep us enslaved. So I know that might not sound like, you know, very uncomfortable for some of you guys, but I mean, just think about it. Just think about, like, how, you know, how compartmentalized everything is, right? Like, a lot of coders that are doing stuff, and, you know, coding, it has become like medicine, where it's a profession that pays very good money, but it consists of people that are basically trained to regurgitate and memorize information. They're not trained to They're not trained to make critical, like circular connections, and they're not trained to critically think. They just do what they're told. They just memorize code. They memorize language and just output it. And there is some creativity involved in coding. I'm not saying there isn't, but I just feel like the whole culture is, it's very leftist for the most part. It's very SJW, very leftist. If you do speak out against a lot of what's going on in this country with the, politics, or if you have a differing opinion, you're outcast, right? So even, when I was driving for Lyft, I would drive these people around, and like this one guy he was in the coding and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I believe in universal, what is it called, universal income, and we should have that, and I was like, well, why? I was like, well, you don't believe in people paying their own way? And he's like, oh, well, there's just some people that don't want to work. Well, that's too fucking bad then. I guess they're just gonna have to be homeless, right? Because why are we paying for them? Why are we paying for people that want to, he told me, he goes, there are people that just want to sit down and eat junk food and play video games, and we're going to do with those people. Yeah, kick them out on the street so they can learn that, they need to be responsible for their own life. But there are people that, even though they might want work, they don't mind the idea of this whole communistic, virtual reality that's built in a grid like Minority Report, where people control cars and control where, how you drive and where you drive and when you should drive and everything, right? We shouldn't even have really driver's license and, registering our cars. I mean, it's all been incremental, right? Now it's leading up to the selfless or self-driving cars that they can control. It's getting very creepy, and I think a lot of people are waking up to it, but then there are just a lot of people that are just like, oh, it's science. They've watched too many episodes of Star Trek. And I love Star Trek. I love Star Wars. I'm total, I love science fiction. I'm not saying that's bad, but I think that there are people that really, that's another way that they use, if you can see through it, you can see that, all of these science fiction programs, have been, and maybe they had good intentions when they were being written, but they've been written to also brainwash slowly the population into believing all these concepts are ultimately good without even questioning them, right? One show I really, really like, I should say I love, is Black Mirror. If you guys have ever seen that show, because they talk about the dark side of technology, and there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of conversation going on in my eyes, my perspective, about the dark side of technology. It's all good, it's all great, it's all, like 5G is amazing, even though it unravels your DNA and gives you cancer, and it can be used as a weapon to blow shit up. And but the thing is too, it's like the elite have to ask our permission, right? Like the vampire that comes into our house, right? The vampire can't come into your house unless you give it permission to come in, right? So it's the same thing with all this technology. We have all of these smartphones, which is really good. We have the internet, which is really good. It's opened up job markets. It's opened up a new way of communicating. I have a YouTube channel, and I've met amazing people through this channel, through my podcast, through everything, all over the world. I wouldn't give that up, but at the same time, look at what it's doing to people's relationships and their personalities, and it's creating this huge culture of narcissism and fakeness, and people posting pictures to and stuff about their lives to lives trying to impress people, yet the real story is a different thing, so but we gave them permission because they promised us all this, immortality, right? They promised us immortality, and then now we're gonna but we've given it up for for us to be for enslavement, right? Like the self-driving cars. What else I was gonna say? I lost my train of thought, but I was thinking about accept this self-driving car, but you give up all your freedoms in return, right? right? That's what people, we want the quick and easy fix. We want we want fast 5G, we want faster internet, but we're willing to risk cancer. We're willing to risk, our cities being weaponized, right? Not only that, they also changed the frequencies with 5Gs that could mess up not only give us cancer and unravel our DNA, but also you can use it for mind control. You can mess with the frequencies and mind control people. But hey, we have faster internet, right? We have faster internet. We have self-driving cars. We don't have to do anything, right? They're catering to these people too that, they're lazy. A lot of these people are fucking lazy. Even though they code and they do stuff, but a lot of people, they're just like, at their computers like robots, and they're being made to be lazy. They can't even drive cars now themselves, right? They can't even, like, geez, that's crazy. The people, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Don't work. Just give us money. Give us self-driving cars. Yeah, but you're fucking dependent like a fucking pet. You're a fucking pet. Do you want to be a fucking pet? Because that's what they're training you to be, a fucking pet. And all these people that are compartmentalized and they're making a lot of money and they're being told that they're doing good, they're actually doing bad, right? And we're the way that we're inventing things, our technology, is in contrast with nature. I think we could live in a society if we built in harmony with nature, but it's just this constant war between the physical sciences and the biological sciences to separate us. Now, like the physical sciences, instead of working in harmony with the biological sciences, they're working in contrast with the biological scientists to put us at odds against one another and to separate us, right? From Earth, right? From our ecosystem. But anyway, I think I will, if I talk anymore, I'll be rambling more than I needed to. But those are just my thoughts. And hell no to self-driving cars. Hell to the no. No. That's it, you guys. All right, talk to you later. Peace and love. Bye-bye.